Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much. That was kind of a scary introduction, right? I hope she's as smart. What was it? But then it made sense. Oh, the weather. She's not an idiot. She's just bad with temperature. I don't know. I'm from here. This isn't that bad, is it? Right? No, I mean, come on. Compared to, Tempe's awful. God, you guys been there? It's like 87 degrees right now. Who wants that? Not going to learn anything about yourself there. Oh, you can deal with an easy life? Good for you. We're a hardy people. I don't know where I'm going with that, you guys. But I did. I lived in Arizona for 6 years, and it was fun, but it was hard for me because, like, my friends would call me on the phone, and they'd be like, hey, Jolene, want to go float down the river in the hot Arizona sun for 9 hours on Saturday? I'm like, no, do you not see me? I mean, 9 hours in the sun, and I'll turn into a giant freckle, okay? And not like a cute, Lindsay Lohan freckle, but like an angry Danny Bonaducci freckle. It's not pretty. It's not. But I'm excited to be back, excited to be here with you guys. Sometimes it's hard for me to get out of my house because I have what's called OCD. Anybody else here weird like me? Thanks for your support. I do. I have OCD, and I've developed this new checking pattern that I do where I have to open and close the front door of my house exactly 7 times before I can leave. Yeah, it's great. And the reason I do it is because I'm afraid I'm going to get my dog's tail caught in the door, which is crazy, right? Because I don't even have a dog. It's a little weird. It's a little weird. But I like being a female in comedy, you guys, because the expectations are super low. Well, let's be honest, sir. When you saw me, you're like, okay. Time to go to the bathroom. No, I did a show recently, and when this, because normally guys, they don't, they're not really fond of female comedians. They're like, no, girls aren't funny. In the show I was at recently, this guy came up to me after the show, and he said, that was the worst thing I've ever seen. You're the reason women shouldn't do comedy. Yeah. He said, why don't you go home and have a baby or something? It's like, oh my gosh. I am never inviting my dad to a show ever again. That's not nice, you guys. We're family. I have like guys say strange things to me. Like I was out recently eating dinner, and then this gentleman approached me and said, "You look like a cat person." I was like, "Well, what does a cat person look like?" He said, "Well, looks like you live in a house with a bunch of cats. You eat a lot of Activia digestive yogurt. And you rarely wash your hair." I know. I was like, that is spot on. It was creepy how he knew that. But the worst is I was at Target, and this gentleman approached me, and he was like, "You're a comedian, aren't you?" And of course I got really excited. I was getting recognized, and I said, "Yes, I am a comedian. How did you know? Have you been to one of my shows?" And then he looked at me and said, "No, you just look funny." I know. So I looked at him, and I was like, "You're a divorced dad, aren't you?" Yeah. And he actually said, "Yeah, how did you know?" I was like, you just look behind on your child support. So, yeah. He walked away after that. That pretty much ended that, you guys. That's fun. One group of men I don't really understand is really unattractive straight men that are always very afraid that gay men are going to hit on them. I'm always like, no, guy, you're cool. Because if no ladies are barking up that tree, no guys are going to either. I think they forget, gay men, they actually have very high standards, like higher than most of us straight women, Let's be honest here, we're all friends. Because for a lot of gay men, like if you gain weight, if you get fat, you'll get dumped. Yeah. But for us straight women, if our men get fat, we get secure. Yeah. Like, yeah, honey, you look good in that XXL sweatshirt. It's good. You're not going anywhere. No. In this for life. You guys are fun. I like you. I did something very out of character for myself. I went out to a nightclub recently. Some of my friends brought me out there to, dance, and just how I did that, I don't belong there. It's my dance. And when I went there, I felt very out of place, you guys, because like all the girls were very young, and now I'm in my 30s, and I didn't dress like them at all, because I like to wear a lot of blouses. I like myself a vertical striped blouse. But the young gals, they're not rocking the vertical striped blouse. No, they're rocking a t-shirt dress. I didn't know where the pants were. Looked cold. But when people ask me, like, what's with your style? I say, well, I like to describe it as Golden Girls-y. Yeah? I'm just like Dorothy up here, Blanche down there. So that's fun. And then, like, I didn't know how to dance because I'm watching, like, these young 21-year-old girls dance. And you guys, I don't know if you've seen this, but when they dance, it looks like they're looking for a contact lens on the ground. Because they're just like, where is it? It's got to be here somewhere. Oh, look, some strange guy came up from behind and wants to help. I can't pull that off, you guys, because I got 20/20 vision and self-esteem, so it's a bad combination. Thanks, ladies. And 2 guys, thank you. Woo. No, that was fun. But I live here now, and my whole family's from here, and my parents are fun. I actually moved back in with them, which is every 33-year-old woman's dream. Living the comedy dream, you guys. And my parents are a lot of fun. My dad, he works for Pepsi, and he actually drives the big trucks, and he delivers soda all over your wonderful state for your high fructose corn syrup. And he loves it. His route just changed, and now he delivers Pepsi to the Mall of America, which was, I know, fancy. We know how fancy it is here. He was really excited because he told me, yeah, Joel, they got a lot of those ethnic foods out there. Yeah, my favorite is that Panda Express. And you guys, he actually asked me, he goes, did you guys have those down there in AZ? It's like, yeah, Dad, I think everywhere has those, except for China. Yeah. True. And my mom, she finally found a Mexican restaurant in Minnesota. Yeah, it took her 58 years, so that's good. She told me, I just love that Chipotle. It's pretty close, Chipotle, yeah. She told me that when she was there, she ordered in Spanish. You guys, she doesn't know Spanish. Like, well, Mom, what did you say? She goes, oh, it's fine. I just walked up to the gal and I was like, hola. Deuce burritos, please, favor. And then she asked for a side of Guatemala and they kicked her out. So she'll try again later. But my dad, he's a cool guy. He was showing me at the house. He got DirecTV, and he loves his remote and his man cave and his reclining couch and his millions of cup holders. And he just loves his basement. He was showing me how he loves to watch TV and how on DirecTV you can program your channels so you only get the ones that you want to watch, like all your favorite channels. And we're going through, and he asked me if I wanted the Disney Channel programmed. I said, no, I'm 33, I don't want the Disney Channel. But then he told me he had it programmed. I was like, Dad, you're 58. What could you be watching on the Disney Channel? He said, well, they got some good shows. You know, I've been watching some show about two brothers that got a sweet life. You guys, my dad is watching The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. Like, I'm pretty sure that registers him on some websites. It's not right. He's too old for that. But my mom, she's awesome. This year, actually, she'll be celebrating her 14th year of sobriety, which is fabulous. We're very proud of her. Thank you, guys. And growing up with an alcoholic mom, like, people, you know, they feel really bad for you because they think you had this horrible childhood, and it's awesome, you know, because then you can blame everything on that. But then when they find out that my mom was a functional alcoholic, they feel a little less bad for me. You know, because everyone thinks it's like what you see on the Lifetime movies. You know, because people would ask me, oh, Jolene, did your mom get drunk, come home, call you fat, and then hit you? I was like, no, my mom would just come home drunk, tell me I was the best thing that ever happened to her, and then walk into a wall. But it still hurt, you guys. Mostly hurt her, but, you know, we're working through it. My mom, she just has an addictive personality. Like, she's a hoarder, you guys, but she's a hoarder on a budget. Yeah. She'll buy stuff she doesn't need just so she can use a bogus or expired coupon. And she gets away with it, too, because she plays up her Minnesota nice. Like, she compliments the cashiers. She'll say, oh, what a beautiful smile you have. Or, you are very attractive. And then in the case where maybe those compliments aren't applicable to a certain cashier, she goes with her backup compliment, which is, you are just such a hard worker. Which I never really cared, you guys, until I went to my junior prom, and I was like, Mom, how do I look? She was like, oh, Jolene, you are just such a hard worker. Could be why I'm doing comedy. I don't know. But it's fun. I love the holidays. Like, I'm kind of sad Christmas is over. Everyone, are you over the holidays, or are you kind of sad? Like, I get sad when the holidays are over because I just like that whole feeling, and I really love, like, the movies. Christmas movies, like my favorite movie is It's a Wonderful Life. Anybody else? Do you want me to get that? I love talking to people. We could, you know, if you want to take a break, I'm okay. We get some water, we could text, I don't know. I love it. I've always wished that someone's phone would ring and they'd let me talk to their friends. You can call them back. We'll talk about it in a little bit. I'll get through this joke first. But I love It's a Wonderful Life. Anybody else? Is that their favorite movie? You got some people out there? Make some noise if you've never seen It's a Wonderful Life. Really? Never seen it? Well, it's a good story. There's this main character, George Bailey, and he wishes he had never been born. And then an angel comes down named Clarence, and he shows him what the lives of those he loved would have been like had George never been born. And all of this horrible stuff happens to his family and friends. You know, Clarence says, George, Mr. Gower, the pharmacist you used to work for, he went to jail for 20 years for poisoning a child because you weren't there to stop him. Your brother Harry, he fell through the ice and drowned because you weren't there to save him. That's bad stuff, you know? And then George wants to know, what happened to my wife? What happened to Mary? Clarence doesn't want to tell him. He's like, you're not going to like this. He said, she never married. She became an old maid. She's leaving the library right now. Every time I hear that, you guys, I'm like, really? That's the worst thing that could have happened to Mary? That she's single, has a full-time job, and likes to read? I mean, that's my life, you guys. That's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. But I did do something, actually, I should quit telling that joke because I did something really exciting. Just the other day, I went into a bridal store to try on wedding dresses. Thank you, guys, very much. Which is a really bad idea when you're not engaged or dating anyone. Apparently they frown on that. Because when you go in there, like, they ask you all these questions, you know, like all the little attendants run up to you and they're like, oh, are you engaged? When's the wedding? You look like you're about a size 12. Is that right? I'm like, no, I'm not a size 12. I'm a size 1. The silent 2 on the end. They didn't have that size. But you know, like I couldn't tell Brittany, the attendant who was helping me, why I was really there, or she'll think I'm weird. You know, I couldn't be like, well, Brittany, I'm not engaged. Actually, I'm not even dating anybody. But I heard that you guys let me try on really fabulous dresses, and you give out free champagne. So I was just thinking about grabbing a handful of those dresses and the bottle of champagne and heading back to that dressing room. And just putting all the dresses on at once. And then sitting in the corner and rocking myself back and forth. Doing a little self-soothing, you guys. Being like, it's okay, Jolene, that you're 33 and not married. That's okay. It's okay that like half your friends got married to beautiful ceremonies of beautiful guys this year. That's okay. You had a good year too. You finished an entire book. It was an audio book, but I powered through and I finished it, you guys. So I had to lie. So right when, you know, Brittany asked me if I was engaged, I was like, duh, look at me, totally engageable. And then she asked me, she really threw me off because she said, well, what's your fiance's name? Well, you guys, I didn't think that far ahead. So I was like, fiance, David? She was like, well, David what? I'm like, David Hasselhoff? I know. As it was coming out, I'm like, no, I want it back. And then she mocked me. She's like, you mean to tell me you're marrying the David Hasselhoff, like from Baywatch? And I was like, no, Brittany. Not the David Hasselhoff. But he does have a drinking problem, and he's really popular in Germany. So it's kind of like the same thing. But I'll share a couple more things with you guys, and I'll get out of here. You guys have been wonderful. You're going to love your headliner, Mike James. He's one of my very good friends, and thank you for being so great. One thing I've noticed now that I don't really like to do in front of guys as a woman, I don't like to eat in front of men. Because I found that guys, sometimes they like to comment on what a woman's eating. I work in an office, and I was eating lunch, and my boss walked by, and I was eating at my desk, and he says to me, wow, Jolene, you ate your whole lunch? That's a lot of food for a girl. I know, and I don't understand why he thinks just because I'm a chick, you know, I can't pound a Chipotle burrito like a Tic Tac. Put it down. I mean, guys, you have to realize that women, we do, and we eat just as much as you. We just don't normally do it in public, you know. We do it alone in the dark while crying. It tastes better that way, right, ladies? Just a little tip, you guys can try it. I had a very interesting experience shopping. I was shopping for clothes. I was shopping at Rosedale Mall, and I was shopping next to this really skinny woman. And soon she realized, you know, she was in the wrong section. She was in the people that eat section. So she's looking around, and she turns to me, and she goes, oh, my God, these clothes aren't my size. They're huge. So I ate her. She was so good, you guys. Okay, one more thing. I was, while I was shopping, before eating this young lady, I apparently, if you guys don't know this, like apparently now at my age, I've graduated to this new women's clothing section called Mrs. Anybody familiar with this? If you don't know, you guys, in department stores, there's 2 clothing sections for women, okay? There's juniors for those 13 to 30, and misses for those 30 to dead. It's delightful. You know, and when you shop in the junior section, like all the store names and the brand names make you feel really attractive and young. You know, they have brand names like Juicy, Self-Esteem. They have stores like Forever 21. And then you shop in the Mrs. section, and it's like soul-crushing. You guys, they have brand names like Charter Blues. They have a store called Dress Barn. They're like, who cares? Just rein them in like cattle. Nobody's looking. Come on, put her in Crocs and a turtleneck. Let's go. Let's go. It's depressing. But I did. I found a nice pair of slacks, some jeans there, with an elastic waistband, you guys. And when I looked inside to see what the brand name was, it was Give Up. You guys have been awesome. Enjoy the rest of your show. Thank you so much.
I guess I'm a little confused. I was sitting there listening, and I think I was supposed to laugh when she said guys wear double XL shirts. Right? And my wife tells me all the time that I'm not going anywhere, and I always thought it was because she loved me and I look good. And here this whole time, I don't want to talk about it. Oh, man, okay. All right, I'll just leave it alone. Hey, listen, for those of you who don't know, my name is Andrew Anderson, and I have the awesome opportunity of serving Illumination Church as a lead pastor. It was really cool when I was standing outside. This lady came up to me, and she started talking. She said, oh, my gosh, I know everybody here, and I don't know you. Whose son are you? And the lady introduced, one of my friends introduced, oh, no, this is our lead pastor. And she said, oh, I thought you look like somebody's kid. And I said, I love you. You're awesome. I've got 5 kids of my own. You're amazing. I could just take you home. This is great. So anyway, listen, my name is Andrew Anderson, lead pastor's church. So glad you guys chose to come out tonight on a windy night. A cold night. The guy I'm about to invite up is the guy that I met 9 years ago, actually. We did life and ministry together. He has 3 kids, and I actually served for 2 years on staff at the church Copper Hills in Glendale, Arizona, and I was their youth pastor. And I got to do a lot of life and ministry with Mike. He and his wife, Jenny, were a big part of our youth ministry there. His kids were a big part of it, and God did some really cool things, some incredible things there. And so I know Mike personally. I've known him for a long time. When we began Illumination Church on Easter Sunday this last year, we started talking about our mission statement and our vision statement. And one of the things that we stand for is to change the way people view God. That God is not this claustrophobic, kind of archaic book that's on a shelf, and that it's just this distant God or this God of punishment. But God is a lot of fun. And I got to thinking, I haven't talked to Mike in a while, but I know he's a funny guy. It turns out he ended up being a comedian, and I don't know if he's that funny. And we'll find out soon. You guys can help me judge. I knew his wife was funny, and anybody who would marry him has to be a little funny, if you know what I mean. My wife is funny too. And so I got talking to him. I said, hey, would you be willing to come out to Minnesota to do a comedy night? We'll call it Comedy Collision. It'll be great. You'll be our speaker. It'll be wonderful. He goes, yeah, I'll send you a contract. I said, sure, perfect. Looking forward to it. And I got it, and I'm like, oh, this is the Good Buddy contract. Oh, you suck. And so, you better be good. And so I started talking to him, and he agrees to come out. And we start planning things for you folks, and we're like, hey, what can get people to come out in like negative 9-degree weather? Oh, food and fun and music and like the Beach Boys. They started off with everybody surfing. I thought it was ironic because it was 9 degrees outside and snowing, and then everybody gonna surf. I'm a little twisted if you ask me, whatever. So anyway, Mike James is a computer geek by day and a closet comedian by night. He's from Gig Harbor, Washington originally, from the great Northwest. If you've never been there, shame on you. It's beautiful. You want to go there. We have mountains. You don't, so whatever. But Mike and Jenny have 3 wonderful kids. I love them all dearly. He's now a grandfather, which is really funny to say because he's not that old, but he's in his 50s, so he's old, let's be honest. And as I'm talking to him, he gets out the airplane, and Mike lost a whole kid. And when I know Mike from like 2 years ago, and I can say it because I'm fat, so I can talk about Mike's weight. 2 years ago, or 7 years ago, last time I saw Mike, he was like 85 pounds heavier than he is now. And he got out the plane, and the first time, I haven't seen this guy in 7 years, and you'd think the first thing you'd say is, hey man, I love you, it's good to see you. And I looked at him, I said, dude, you lost a whole kid. And he's like, yeah, I know. And he stands there, and I'm talking to him, right? I'm outside the vehicle talking to him, and I notice he's doing this. Like his hand is doing this, and his body's doing this. And I start talking, and he's not responding to me. And I'm like, you want to get in the car? So he starts shuffling, trying to get his cold body in the car. We get there, and the whole way home, he's got his hands on both like the vents like this, and he's talking, and he goes, it's cold here. And I had my son with me who had just got done playing soccer. He played a game this morning, scored 5 goals because it's genetics. He takes after his father. And so that wasn't funny. And so we're talking, and my kid is patronizing him. He's 9 years old, and he's making fun of this old guy. And he gets out of the car, and he's like, oh, it's hot. I got my shorts on, man. Check this out. And we go to Buffalo Tap to go get the Juicy Lucy because you have to when you're in Minnesota. You have to get the Juicy Lucy. It's like a law, that, and you have to eat those nasty casseroles you guys make. And so we get out of the car, and my kid's strutting around in his shorts and walk inside, and Mike, he can't even talk. He's just breathless. And so he's like, I don't know, you couldn't have done this in June? Like, are you kidding me? This is what I did. And his wife was going to come, Jenny, but she's smart. She stayed in 82-degree weather. So that said, he didn't bring a jacket with him. And I started teasing him. And I know, don't feel bad for him. He's an idiot. I tell you, like, you can't go to Weather Bug, or you can't go to Google to find out how cold it is. Shame on him. Moron. Listen, Mike, actually, one of the coolest things about Mike, there's a couple things I want to share, and then I'm going to invite him up. This last year, Mike's been doing comedy for several years now. Started off as a complete fluke. He actually is a great father. Wanted to support his kids who got into this improv stuff. Turns out he's much better at it than them. And so he got into it and started talking. And last year, actually this last year, recently, he won an award. It's actually nationwide. It's the Guild Award, the Christian Guild Award for the best comedian nationwide. I'm talking like Bob Smiley and King Kington and Andrew Anderson and guys like that. And so he won this award, and I think it's prestigious. And I'm telling you all this stuff, guys, I'll be honest, I've never heard him do stand-up. So if he sucks, we'll get Jolene back out here. I promise you guys. That's my commitment to you. Excellence in everything. So he's won several awards. He's got these cute little trophies that he sticks up in his closet. But I think more than that, the thing I love about Mike is his commitment to God and his commitment to his family. And that is just a huge testament. For me, it's been a great example. And so catching up with Mike today has been tremendous. I'm looking forward to my time with Mike. So would you guys please welcome one of my dearest friends, Mike James.
How you guys doing so far? Me too. Jolene's funny, huh? We'll see. Jolene and I go way back. I am from Seattle originally, or the Seattle area, but I live in Phoenix now. So, so here I am. And you're right, it is cold. It's freezing. Andrew and I know each other for a long time. I was trying to think of some of the things I remember about Andrew, your pastor here, and I was talking to my wife today, and she wanted to make sure I reminded everybody how picky he is in eating. He won't eat onions of any kind. But I don't know if you know this, but we used to sneak onions into your food. We did. I remember we had like this big meatball sub my wife made. They were delicious. And she ground up the onions nice and small and stuck them all in there. So you like onions, actually. But he got me back. He brought me to Minnesota in January. That was crazy. Minnesota, it's cold. I found out today, we were driving around a little bit, I found out today that there's a couple of different things that happen here that I'm not used to. Like, for example, apparently a red light means, okay, 3 or 4 more cars, and that's it. That's it. That's all you get. 3 or 4 more cars. I'm still shaking. I'm so cold. No. So a cool thing happened this last year. I celebrated my 27th wedding anniversary. So, sure, it sounds great. No, it is. It's fantastic. I'm very lucky. My wife's very beautiful, and I'm just very lucky. We have great kids. Like Andrew said, it's a very big blessing in my life to be married. So I'm happy about that. I will tell you this, though. First of all, I married very young. I did. In fact, we spent our honeymoon in a blanket fort. No, that's not true. I'm going to write that down somewhere. That's funny. We did. There's benefits to being married young. Like, for example, I didn't ever have to waste a bunch of time trying to figure out what my own interests were. So I have that going for me. People, it's funny because if you've been married long enough, people start to ask you, well, what's the secret to a long relationship? What's the secret to being married so long? I think there's several things. First of all, a lot of the single guys, especially too, they'll pretend like they have it better than you. I've been married 27 years. Oh, that's too bad. You wish you were married. Being married has a lot of benefits. Like, for example, you're smart. A married person is smarter, right? Before I was married, I did not know there was a fork just for salad. I also did not know there was salad before being married. That's another thing I learned. Learned a lot of things. Apparently, I need a duvet. I didn't know that before. I should probably find out what that is. I probably have one. I don't know. I don't know, being married. So people ask what the secret to being married a long time is, and I think communication is key. I think that's one of the biggest things is communication. You just need to be able to, like, for example, say I love you. You have to say I love you to each other a lot. You don't have to use those words, you just have to communicate that. It's true. That was a weird laugh, actually, for that, but okay. You have to communicate it. What I mean is, like, for example, if we're going out for the evening, like say we're going out, my wife will usually say something like, I don't feel pretty. This dress doesn't look right. My hair's not right. I don't even want to go out. And I will tell her, honey, you look gorgeous. You always look fantastic. That's how I say I love you. And then later that night, we'll be like getting ready for bed, and I'll look in the mirror and say, wow, look at my hair is really receding. And then she'll say, yeah, you'll be bald soon. So. I'm not good at communicating. I will admit that. She doesn't think I listen. The other day she's saying, you never listen, something. I don't know. But anyway, I don't know. The point is, and in modern communications, even worse for me because I can't text. I'm not good at the texting thing. I hate that. I hate texting, I should get it off on my phone so people don't even expect it from me. But my wife, like, I'll be out, she'll text, hey, can you run this errand while you're out or whatever. The other day that happened, I responded with K, and I hit enter. She calls immediately. I said, hello? She says, what's wrong? Nothing. Why? Well, your text. I said, you asked me to get something. I said K. She goes, well, you made it sound like you're upset. It's the letter K. K. Whole episodes of Sesame Street were brought to you by that letter. How is that? I don't. And one of the problems is, and I know I don't listen well, but I swear to you, every sentence of hers ends with this word. And the whole day is one run-on sentence. The whole day is just one big run-on sentence from beginning to end. I always think it's over, and then there's and I don't care what she's saying. She'll be telling me a story she read about or something. The whole family died. And I'm like, how could there be more than that? That's the end. As I'm getting older, I'm having trouble sleeping anyway. But now, so many times, when you're laying in bed and you're nice and warm. Well, you guys wouldn't be, but in Phoenix, where we're nice and warm, and you're like, that peaceful state where you're just drifting off. I swear, the other night this was happening. This happened many times. You just that peaceful, perfect, and I get, and. There's more still. My wife loves to correct me. I don't know what it is about me, or I think it's a lot of. I talk to married guys. This happens to a lot of married men. Women love to correct us. I don't know why. They have this innate need to correct. We had friends over a while ago, and in the house we were at, I was like, "Yeah, we've lived here about 10 and a half years or so." My wife interrupts, saying, "No, it's been almost 11." You're right, honey. 10 and a half is nowhere near almost 11. I don't know. I'm an idiot. I apologize for trying to deceive our friends. I don't know why I was doing that. We still get into arguments. It's funny because, you'd think after a while you've settled all your different things. But we know we still argue about silly things. By the way, if you're a married man, I have some advice for you. This is how you get out of an argument with your wife, okay? It probably won't work for you because your wife's here probably, but still, this worked for me because I came up with it originally, and it worked for a while. After a while, it won't work, but this is what I was doing. She'd, start picking the fight. Yeah, we know you're picking a fight. We know that, but she'll start, saying something to pick a fight, and I'd interrupt her right off the beginning. I know. That's my point. I am brilliant. Because what happens is when I do that, a couple things. First of all, she'd be like, quiet for a minute, which is magical. I'll be honest with you, that was awesome. But I think in her head, she's just like going, what is this trickery? You know? And then I just take that nice, tender, quiet moment, and I run away. I just go, you're welcome. That's my advice. That's how you win. You get the last word, and you're gone. But you got to be careful. Don't do it too early in the, when she's picking the fight. You have to be careful with it. If it's like, these make me look fat. I know, that's my point. No, then it's a timing thing. I don't know why my wife, I don't know why we argue at all. You'd think she'd be grateful to have me. I mean, look at me. No, I think I'm kind of a catch, Plus, she needs me. She needs me. I can reach stuff on the top shelf. She doesn't know how to operate the remote without me. I can't tell you how many projects I've started. Pretty handy guy. I like being the handyman. I have a tool belt and everything. It's pretty cool. She makes fun of me when I put on my tool belt. What do you need a tool belt? Because I'm going to fix some stuff. I'm fixing some stuff. She'd just be like, you're an idiot. You're changing a light bulb. All right, fine, but still, my tool belt. She, one of the many things she likes, she doesn't like me to relax, I don't think. This is the thing. I don't think she likes me to relax. Because what'll happen is, if she's leaving the house, first of all, I know this because if I relax for 1 minute, I know immediately she's going to start doing chores right in front of me to make me feel bad, She's like, just looking at me. She won't say anything, just like, I'm vacuuming. Hope you're relaxed. I hope you're enjoying the couch there. But she'll leave to go run an errand during the day or whatever, and I'll think, okay, I'm gonna turn on the TV. I'm gonna eat Cheetos on the good couch. But I can't because she'll leave a list for me. She loves the lists. Oh, this drives me nuts. Okay, I'm going to leave and run an errand. By the way, here's the 37 things I need you to do while I'm gone. Seriously, a list? And I have to do them. She's going to know when she comes back if I didn't do it because there'll be like orange fingerprints on everything probably. But it's just always a list. And even on vacation, she'll make a list. We'll go on vacation. She pulls out a list, and I'm thinking, oh, good. Now we don't have to waste our precious vacation hours relaxing. Why is there always a list? We like to go on our date nights. I was mentioning that before. Like, we'll get ready to go out. My wife, I have to convince her that she looks pretty enough to go out. And she's stunningly beautiful. I have to tell you that. But we'll go on our date nights. And she, first of all, again, I'm very glad I'm married. I don't think I'd be good at date. I don't think I'd be good. My pickup line at this point in my life would be, you look like a woman that wouldn't blame me for everything. You know what I mean? That's really where I'm coming from on most stuff. But we'll go out. This is funny. We'll go out. My wife will point out other people. A lot of you women do this. You like to see other people that you don't know, and then you figure out what their whole deal is, and then you tell us about it. Right? You do that. It kills me. We'll go out to eat. My wife will look at them. They're on their first date. She ordered salad. Things are going pretty good. You don't know them at all. You have no idea who they are. Why? How do you get that? Or she'll say, look at that couple. They're in their 80s. They're celebrating an anniversary. Like, she knows. But she'll make this observation. It's so sad. Look at them. They're just sitting there and eating and staring. They don't even talk. I'm just thinking, that would be awesome. How many veterans do we have here? Some? Few? 1, 2, 3. Good. Give it up for the veterans. I am too. I was in the Navy for a while. I wasn't good at being in the Navy, but I was in for quite a while. I remember in boot camp they'd tell me, they'd yell at you and give you military time to do everything. Hey, James, I need you here at 15:30. I never got it. Every time they'd yell at me or give me a time, you'd always see me going, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 3:30. Why don't you just say 3:30? That would make more sense, wouldn't it? 3:30, okay. Or the phonetic alphabet. So the military has a common phonetic alphabet. Every letter has a word associated to it. And I was never good at this. And I had to be on the radio a lot. I worked in a command area where I had to like report certain targets that were designated. And I'd be like, I was just horrible at this. Yeah, we're gonna assign the system to target Alpha Juliet Dillybar. You know, I just never knew. Or when they talked to me, I'd have to figure out what they were saying. You know, it's like Juliet Bravo Charlie whatever, and you could just hear me on the radio. Plus I was in the Navy. I don't know why I like being in the Navy. It was actually pretty cool, but I just never understood the uniform, the Navy uniform. We suffered a bad image problem from the village people already. Why this uniform that just looked ridiculous? I don't know. I think a Broadway choreographer designed this thing or something, you know. It's like, you know, first of all, they put a little cape on the back. That's cute, right? And then we'll add a tie. But don't tie it up here. Let's tie it down here with a big bow and bell bottoms and a stupid hat. I look like Gene Kelly. One singular sensation. And the whole Navy, every ship is painted gray. It looks like our armed forces are in repo. The whole, everything. When I left the Navy, I had to get a separation physical. And that turned out to be much more accurate of a description than I wanted it to be, actually. But when I left, I had to get the separation physical, and that was the last time I saw a doctor for like years and years and years. In fact, I went back just recently to the doctor. I thought, well, I'm getting up there in age. I need to go in and get checked out. So I go in, and I had a couple problems. One of them is I'm shaking a lot. I have